My phone history consists of Androids, and these Androids were always HTCs. So I was pretty much a fanboy of HTC at one point. I worked for HTC for about 2 years. It was the best time for HTC and I loved it. I loved their phones, everything was amazing. And I loved Android. I loved the customizability of Androids. I could never understood this weird iOS people that were just so crazy about their phones and so amazed by that. And this year came a point in my life where I had to find a new phone again. So my HTC Eye was slowly beginning to die and I had huge problems with its storage, so it was time for a change. I work a lot with social media, so my phone has to be a tiny computer with as amazing camera as possible. Of course, if I need professional photos, I'm gonna take this Canon that I'm shooting with right now, or I'm gonna take my G7X for vlogging, but otherwise, I need the camera to be as awesome as possible. That is one of my priorities. Other priorities also include amazing speed, reliability, and no problems with internal storage, because I was getting crazy with 16 gigs of internal storage. So I went overboard and took 128 gigs for this one. But you know, storage speed and reliability, you can also get that with Android phones. That is not a problem. That was not my main reason why I switched. It was a tough battle between the Google Pixel and the iPhone 7. They came out at around the same time. There was a tons of reviews. I pretty much watched them all. I checked all the blogs, everything, and I couldn't find a definite answer. There was people religiously stating that Pixel is a lot better when it comes to camera, and there were people religiously stating that iPhone's camera was a lot better. And I was looking at the smaller models, not the XL models, because I have tiny hands. I'm not MKBHD, you know? So I need a phone I can actually hold and not drop, even though I'm gonna drop it anyways. So back to the camera point. I couldn't find a definite answer. There was no statistically, as you can see, I like statistics sometimes. There was no statistical number that would say, okay, more people are for iPhone's camera than they are for Google Pixel's camera. There was a huge problem for me. I couldn't decide. I couldn't sleep for a couple of days. That's how frustrated I was. I looked at a ton of tests. I looked at tests that were super technical and tests that were really done by normal people, and those are my favorite kind of tests, when you just have two phones, you put them one close to another and you just take a million of different pictures with faces, with people, with nature, with architecture and everything like that, because that's the best way to actually measure what the phones do with the light that hits the sensor. And in the end, my decision was made by something super personal. An experience I have every time I call my boyfriend Nate to help me shoot anything. I'm there with my DSLR, you know, trying to fix the settings, trying to get the things just right. And then he's bored, so he just takes out his phone and does a couple of shots, and he's just like, if you want, you can use these. And they're usually amazingly amazing shots. And I'm always like, come on, you just took your phone out and took a picture. It can't be that simple, you know? And then I did a lot of testing with his phone, and I figured out that there is something about the way that iPhones process the picture and the pixels and everything that distinguishes them from all the other phones. They don't have the biggest pixel density. They don't have the best low light conditions. They are not as sharp as everybody else, but the thing that they do with the crop of the image and with the wideness of the lens, and also with the post-processing of the pixels, it just makes the picture immediately Instagrammable. I know that shouldn't be a legit phrase to describe the quality of the camera, but for me that's super important because the only pictures that I'm gonna do with my phone are going to go to Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. So it's low resolution, but it has to look good. And that was every time amazing. I couldn't get it to do a bad picture. Seriously, I was on a mission to get the phone into a state where it could make a bad picture. So I was just like, okay, if iPhone 6 can do that, and if the processing on iPhone 6 is really good for me and is everything I want, then I'm gonna go for a 7. Because one thing I did when I bought the HTC I bought it on the assumption of technical reviews. They promised amazing front camera and amazing back camera, but the reality was the front camera is super grainy, it has a weird angle, it makes your head look like a potato, and the back camera was just an average camera for that time. I was truly disappointed like already a couple of months after I got a new phone, and I really don't want that because when I buy a phone, I want to have it for a couple of years. I just don't want to change it. I don't want to buy a new phone all of a sudden again. That's why I chose, I'm gonna go for iPhone 7, I'm gonna get a big ass storage, and I'm gonna get a super rubbery a super rubbery case for it, so I don't drop it, and if I do drop it, then it's going to be protected. And I have to say that since I have it for 2 months now already, I haven't dropped it yet, but my cat did. But the phone was okay, it landed on the screen, but as you can see this case is huge and it has a huge bumper on the side. It protected the screen, so it was all good and all okay. So yeah, that was my reason, the experience with the post-processing of their pictures. And I have to say that I am seeing this still now, and I still feel that, in my opinion, this is the best smartphone camera. Not because of the pixels, not because of the sharpness. Oh my god, the sharpness is horrible when you come into a bit of low light conditions. The sharpness, there's no sharpness, like everything is soft and meshed together. Oh, I can even show you an example. I took a picture of my mother. She was holding a plaque of some sort, and the letters on the plaque are just mashed together because the processing couldn't process that that is a letter and not just a weird background. It was an interesting picture. It's just all mashed together, so you can see how much post-processing is actually going on. It's not just, okay, this is what fell on my sensor, this is what I give you. No, it made an amazing picture that looks amazing on your phone, Instagram and Facebook, but looks horrible when you put it on a huge monitor. But it looks good and it gets the job done. So if you're looking for sharp photos, this is not a phone for you. If you're looking for photos where selfies look amazing, just go for it. Don't even think about it. So I hope I gave you a little bit of insight why a total Android girl decided to go full iOS all of a sudden, and what was the reasoning behind that. There's gonna be more videos coming soon on the topic of Android and iOS and the comparison of the two, and if you have any special requests or anything like that, put them in the comments down below and we'll see what we can do. Okay? See you soon. Bye! Nobody else can love you better. I'm here just to treat you right. You're the reason I'm alive.